I'm totally feeling like I look like Judy Hopps from Zootopia in the scene where she like goes back to her hometown and is like farming with her parents. That's literally me right now. Hello people of YouTube, Pixie here, and today on my channel it is Thorny Thursday. And so what that means is that we are going to talk about something that maybe I thought was bad at the time but actually turned out to be pretty okay, and actually I learned something from it, or something that is going on in the world that I think we should talk about and kind of figure out ways to help the problem and stuff like that. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, just that's why it's called Thorny Thursday. And so yeah, today we are going to talk about the time that my teacher withdrew me from a course that I was in, and I didn't know about it until about 3 weeks before the end of the semester. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. First things first, this was when I was in community college, and this was my first year of community college, and this actually happened, ironically enough, while I was taking an English course. And I say that it is ironic because I am an English major, and so for this to happen in an English course was pretty strange. I'm actually kind of I'm actually kind of honestly nervous to tell the story, just because sometimes, and actually pretty much all the time, it's kind of hard to admit when you're wrong and when you made a mistake, and that's one of those times. So this was, I started this class and it was fine, everything was good, everything seemed good, I was going to class, I was turning in work, everything was fine. Quarter way into the semester, I kind of started to fall off the wagon. This was around the time when like my self-pitying was like at its all-time high. I started like not going to class as much, just started skipping class, I started not turning in assignments, I started to turn in assignments late and stuff like that. It was just basically everything had just kind of fallen off the wagon. So we also had a group project though, which I actually ended up doing all by myself, and if you've ever been a part of a group project, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the actual reason why I put in work for this group project was because I didn't want to let down my group members, my team members. We turned it in and we actually got it back and we got an A on it, and I was like, yes, like we got an A, you know, maybe, you know, all hope is not lost in this course. So I went after that and I talked to my professor about the work that I had not turned in. I had this essay that I did not turn in, and I said, you know, is there a way that I can turn this in late and still get credit for it? I realize it's late, you know, but maybe we could like work out something, I don't know. And she said, yes, you can still turn it in, like of course you're gonna get points docked because it's late, but I'll still accept it, so just get it into me, just turn it in. And so I went and I did the assignment and I turned it in about a week and a half later, and I started going to class more, and about a month later she returned my paper back to me, and this was in class, so she just gave it back to me and I read it, and on the top, like there was no grade given, it was just on the top was like written in her writing, I dropped you from this course like 2 months ago. And like that was basically all it said, and I remember being like completely shocked and like in a daze. Like I got up from class and like walked out, and I was like, oh man, my community college career is done. Like my goose is cooked. It is over. I was shook, as the kids say. I thought my mom was gonna be so mad when she found out that I had a W on my transcript. Especially like at this point in the semester. I mean, to find out that I had been going to the class and I had given that teacher the project and we got an A on it, and those two people were gonna get an A for that assignment that I basically did, was pretty like unsettling at the time. And I remember just being so mad at the teacher. Like, oh, how dare this teacher drop me from this course when I've been going and blah, 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 blah. Not taking any responsibility for my actions whatsoever. I mean, granted, this was my first semester, or first year of community college. I was young, I was immature, I was not the smartest, in terms of like common sense and logic, and I just remember being so mad at the teacher and not even considering my own actions and not considering pretty much anything else except myself. And basically, you know, what ended up happening actually was that I had to, of course, retake the course. I don't know if I retook it the next semester, maybe even the following semester after that. I retook the course, and I'm actually really happy that this ended up happening, just because I took it with because when I took it with this professor the first time, the one that had dropped me, I wasn't really interested in the material. Even though it was an English class, I wasn't really into it. Like, it was kind of just like not my cup of tea. Wasn't that, like, I just wasn't in it, obviously. Literally wasn't in it. But basically I ended up retaking the course, and the teacher that I retook it with was like amazing. It was my all-time favorite, maybe like my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite teachers, like by far, especially in English. I think maybe my favorite English teacher of all time, which is really shocking to say now, or weird to think about, but it was such a great class. It was my favorite class. I met some really cool people in that class. People that have like changed my life. Like, it was just wild. Like, it was wild. If I hadn't gotten a W, my entire life would be different. And I know that sounds very dramatic, but trust me, it probably would be totally different. So, over the years, I've kind of considered that entire situation and thought about it from, after a few years, and really thought about it. And I have learned, how kind of silly and immature I was being, by not considering any of my own actions. At the time, my mom, I didn't even consider my mom. She was graciously supporting me financially at the time for schooling, and I didn't even think about, oh, I'm like throwing away my mom's money. My mom's like hard-earned money. Like, at the time, I was only thinking about myself, and I didn't even consider that. And I was completely throwing away an opportunity that was given to me. I know so many people that have to work full-time and go to school full-time. It's actually what my mom had to do when she was going to school. And I was just so, I hate to say this, but like privileged and accustomed and like entitled at that age, that I didn't even think about it. I was only concerned about how the UCs were going to view that W, from an English major trying to apply with a W in an English course, with a W in a class that it's supposed to be like your strong suit. That's all I was thinking about. And I wasn't even thinking about how I had wasted that teacher's time. I wasn't even thinking about how I was wasting my own time, really. I know that sounds really cheesy, but honestly, like, to be given such a great opportunity to go to college, like, I don't even think I realized like how lucky I was to be going to college, let alone having it be financially supported, let alone like, I mean, really, what more could I have been given that I wasn't appreciating, and basically being just like, yeah, just throwing away these opportunities. And the reason that I wanted to like talk about this story, even though it's really embarrassing and like I cringe at myself, I've learned a lot over the years. I'm not by any means like this great, amazing expert of life now, but I have definitely learned a few lessons over the years, and that is one of them: to not throw away the opportunities that you are given, to kind of consider all of the things that, not only yourself, to kind of take into consideration everybody else's time and everybody else's money and everybody else's stuff. And I want you to know that people make mistakes. People are not perfect, but you can grow from them. You grow from your mistakes. You will learn from your mistakes, and that's okay. It's totally okay to make mistakes. I also wanted to talk about the fact that turns out it wasn't so bad to have a W on my transcript. I mean, I did get accepted to UC Berkeley. They were okay with it. UCLA was also okay with it, even though that was literally my major. So I want to remind you that a W does not define you. It is not the end-all be-all. It's okay to have a W on your transcript, even if it's in your chosen major. And it's okay to make mistakes, and you will learn from them. I definitely did learn from that mistake, and I just want to remind you of how great college is. Like, it is so great. It is such a great opportunity. Don't do what I did. If you can help it, don't. Just avoid that whole mess. And honestly, if I hadn't been withdrawn from that class, I would have probably received a really terrible grade. And so I'm actually very fortunate that that teacher withdrew me from the course instead of completely just failing me. Also, like, it's community college at this point, so I'm not like, it's not like it's in high school. They don't have to let you know that they're withdrawing you from the course. That was a good lesson to learn as well. The teachers can just withdraw you like that. Do I wish she told me? Of course I wish she told me, but it is what it is, and I'm actually thankful for the experience. I'm thankful for the learning lesson. Honestly, without her, who knows where my life would be right now. I know that sounds really, really wild, but I'm saying that one class like basically changed my life. So learn from your mistakes, try not to make the same mistakes I did, and basically that is everything in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Let's pretend like today's Thursday. I'm trying to catch up on these videos right now. Also, this desk is, it's still in like mock form. I'm still like reassembling, so don't judge. I love you all so much, and hopefully you can see where I'm coming from in this video, and I will see you next time.